It looks like my ICD3 programmer debugger is no longer going to be supported. It's very old, and while I don't like it, I can understand it. It hasn't supported some of the newer chips for quite a while now, and of course, none of the Atmel line of processors. So I decided to order a PICkit 5. The new ICD5, which now has a LAN port, a fantastic addition in my opinion, is also now quite pricey. Well, a bit more than I'm willing to pay to use some of the newer microcontrollers. The PICkit 5 is less than $100, so that really isn't too bad. So get the programmer debugger, a USB-A to USB-C cable, a very short one, and looks like 2 stickers. I guess when the package contents listed 2 PICkit 5 stickers, they weren't joking. At this end is the USB-C connector and the emergency firmware recovery button. And this end has the 8-pin inline connector for programming. The Programmer to Go button is right under the PICkit 5 logo. As I've never had the PICkit 4, this function is new to me. Over on the back is the slot for the micro SDHC card to hold the programs for the Programmer to Go function. It's very small, but feels solid, so the plastic case has some thickness to it. I'll plug it up and do a test program. No lights when hooked up, kinda strange. Maybe MPLAB X needs to be running. This is MPLAB X version 6.10. No tools showing up in the pull-down menu, and no lights on the PICkit 5. Strange and not good. Let me plug in the ICD4 and restart and see what shows up. So the ICD4 shows, but no PICkit 5. Well, it's not showing up in the USB devices. Maybe I got a bad cable. After trying multiple cables and USB ports, it's not a bad cable. It will not show up in the USB device list when plugged in. It's like there is no power going to it at all. Very disappointing indeed. So I guess I should get an RMA from Mouser and return it. But I'm pretty sure the microcontroller had to be programmed in this thing when it was built. So part of it had to be working at one point. Maybe something to do with the USB connector or power supply in it? I'm going to pull it apart and see what I can see. Well, it snaps apart very easily. Parts on both sides of the PC board. Really a lot more in it than I was expecting. A whole lot more. I see some voltage labels. Let me do a bit of checking. Ground is labeled, and I see a 3.3 volt label. And 3V3 is right at 3.3 volts. The various signal lines, some not at ground or 3.3 volt level, maybe signal on them. And I see a 5 volt label, so 5V0 is right at 5 volts. My idea that maybe the USB connector or a part of the power supply was not soldered properly turns out not to be a good hunch. Everything looks good, unfortunately. I'm going to put it all back together. Before I packaged it all back up, I did plug it up again, and look what popped up. The SAM-BA bootloader is now listed. Wow, that is something. I was not expecting that. Let me fire up MPLAB-X and see if I can run the bootloader tool. Under the Debug menu, the item Hardware Tool Emergency Boot Firmware Recovery starts this up. I'll select the PICkit 5. Even though I think it's already in the recovery mode, I'll redo this. Hold the switch in for a second. Probably close to 15 seconds, then unplug it and then plug it right back in. Okay, now time to unplug it again. Now plug it back in. I think this is just a double check to make sure you're not rewriting the firmware in another product that you don't want to. I'm on Linux, and this is trying to write to device TTY ACM0. I've probably got permission problems with this. I've run into this before with some USB to serial devices. Okay, I'll try this again with more privilege. I'll do it all over again just to make sure. That's much better. Seems to be working now. And it didn't take long. Okay, first the USB device list, and there it is, PICkit 5. That's a good sign. Now I'll open up a little test project in MPLAB-X and see if I can select the tool. And there it is, just like it should be. The real test though, can it program a microcontroller? This is just a test board with a PIC 10F322 on it. Connected to the PICkit 5 and saw the PIC 10F322. Looks like it's working fine. Now the first time connecting to the PICkit 5 after running the firmware update tool, it does update the firmware in it. I'm not sure what the problem was. It could be a bad connection on the PICkit 5's PC board. That's still a possibility, though I wasn't able to make it act up again. I don't think it was a messed up program loaded into the PICkit 5. Before I pulled it apart, I tried the firmware recovery a couple of times, even though it was not showing up in any form in the USB device list. The firmware recovery program just didn't see anything. I only tried it twice though, and the first time I may not have allowed the full 10 seconds after pushing the switch, but for the second try, I'm sure I gave it plenty of time. I'm going to try and use the PICkit 5 as much as possible over the next couple of weeks, just to see if I have any problems with it. I'm glad it's working. It's such a hassle to return a defective item, but at the same time, I'm a little leery relying on it. For this to replace my ICD3, I need it to run alongside the ICD4. So I'm hooking up the ICD4 to the main control board. The PICkit 5 is getting connected to the display board. The display board has a DSPIC 33CK 64MP205 on it, and the ICD3 has worked great with it. And it looks like the PICkit 5 works. Does seem a bit faster than the ICD3 to be honest. So maybe it's time to retire the ICD3. Keep it for an emergency backup. Do a test to make sure the ICD4 is still working as it should. I have tried the ICD4 in MPLAB-X 6.10 before, but this is the first time with two programmers hooked up. And it all seems to be fine. The PICkit 5 is quite a bit faster than the ICD3, so that is a nice added bonus. The best feature will be I won't be looking at the ICD3's device support list anymore. With that, oh, that's a shame. We'll open up a much wider variety of MCUs to use, and that will be nice. If it continues to work, looks like I will be very happy with it. Thank you for watching.